Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78s, and I'm joined by my longtime friend, Lauren O'Neill, over at Q101, and I can finally say that and actually mean it, Q101, and then for those of you know, but Lauren, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing awesome. It's Twisted Week. Here we
It's
are.
week. It's finally here for festive nights at the Aragon. Best time of year, in my biased
It,
opinion.
yeah, I agree. You know what? I grew up in the city. I long have been a fan of Q101. You wore it as like the t-shirt you're wearing now. I wore them back in the day, as like a symbol of pride, as you're doing now. But I remember like everybody wearing it in high school because when I was in high school, like Nirvana was, coming out with new music, Pearl Jam, and so on and so forth. But you guys have carried that torch over 20 years. Here we are. Go through the lineup if you would, and like what the event is, because I think a lot of folks might not realize it's a lot of music over a course of a few days at a really awesome place to see music.
Yeah, so these are bands that maybe you would see in much bigger arenas. Some of them just played Lollapalooza, for example, and we've got them in the comparatively intimate Aragon for festive nights, which
Uh-huh.
starts tomorrow. Probably the biggest night of all, and it's a Tuesday, so you really got to rally for the Black Keys, Chicago's own Local H, and this amazing new band, Alex Sucks. They're a lot of fun. And we've got night two, Lovejoy, who just played Lollapalooza. They're headlining along with Right Reaper, who just played Riot Fest, and
Yep.
another Chicago band. Lots of Chicago love on Twisted Christmas lineups this year. Bridget Calls Me Baby. They are so different, but in a very familiar sounding way. This kind of like throwback to the Elvis era, just that very slick kind of rock. Really excited to see them live. Night three is Bleachers, Mr. Wise, and Chicago's own Sincere Engineer. I've kind of a love affair going on with Deanna from Sincere Engineer, and
Yeah.
they're amazing. They played Riot Fest last year, opened up Lollapalooza this year. This is a Chicago band born and bred through our DIY scene that is just blowing up and so well deserved. So
Absolutely.
that will be night three. And then the Twisted Christmas finale is Friday night with Young the Giant, the Gaslight Anthem, and Little Image. So there's after parties in the middle of it all. On Thursday night, we'll be heading to the Cubby Bear afterwards. Deanna from Sincere Engineer will be doing a DJ set. That's a totally free event. Because when Twisted Christmas comes around, it's only once a year. So we want to squeeze every single drop, every magical, festive, Santa infused drop out of it that we can.
Malort infused Santa, right?
I don't think that guy's invited this year. Complaints.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. But has there been a moment that stands out in your memory as like one of the coolest things you've seen there?
There's so many. um, Definitely. So last year, I guess that's the most fresh in my head. The 1975 headline, which was unbelievable. And Maddie took a moment where he came out into the crowd with an acoustic guitar. And I mean, everybody quieted down, talking 5,000 people, just he didn't even have a microphone. And he just serenaded the entire crowd.
Really?
And it felt like a private concert, like Maddie's singing to me. That was amazing. I remember the year Mumford and Sons headline. They just decided to go outside after the show, and there were a bunch of fans outside waiting, I think near the buses to see if they could see them. And they come out and start playing acoustic for everyone in front of the taco vendors right in front of
Oh,
the.
right there underneath the red line?
Yep. Gosh, I mean, that's the thing about Twisted Christmas is there's always those moments that will stick with you forever. And that's, I feel like, what these shows are about. It's about making memories, having those experiences together. So can't wait to see what happens this week.
Yeah, and you got that venue. I mean, Aragon, like you were just talking, where no microphone and you can hear them. That's because that place that's what it was designed for, years ago when there wasn't power the way we use it now, and stuff like that. But outside to see Mumford and Sons underneath the L tracks, that's truly a Chicago moment. And those are the things I live for.
Very special. And I don't want to trump it with this memory also, but I did find a tooth backstage at the Aragon after Twisted Christmas 2 years ago.
That also sounds very Chicago.
I don't know whose tooth that was, but if you need it, I'm sure it's still there.
I hope it's as good as a story as this one is for the person who lost it.
Yes.
Chicago seemed like it didn't get love with for the music scene, but you guys just are showing everybody that the music scene in Chicago is not only there, it's thriving. They're producing. So run through some of the ones that you mentioned them, but how you see the Chicago music scene, I guess, is more of my question.
I mean, I'm probably biased after being here for 12 years now, but I just feel that the Chicago music scene is the best in the entire country. Um, and it comes down to the bands here. I mean, obviously, the music is so diverse and eclectic and amazing on its own, but the bands and the vibe that they have with each other, they're so supportive of each other. And it's like we're all on the same team. And you
Right.
feel that as a fan, like you feel that going out to these shows that this is something really special that's happening and we're all a part of it. And so, like, yeah, let's go.
Hey, you know who you sound like? Because I asked that question to somebody else in Chicago, a person who knows a thing or two about music, but Mr. Shanahan over at the Metro says the exact same thing.
I love Joe so much. That
Yeah.
that definitely knows the Chicago music scene, and he lives and breathes supporting it. So
Yeah,
very great.
and he talks about just how Chicago supports Chicago bands the way they do it. It's not cutthroat like other cities. They go out and help each other and play a show here, and you need me to pull your equipment down Lincoln Avenue to get it into here because whatever it worked or whatever. He's got great stories and they're fantastic. And before I let you go, I was curious. Since we've known each other for a few years now, and you've been at Q101 for a while. You're from, am I right? Are you from Florida?
No.
Florida girl that has officially migrated north to Chicago, recently engaged, married, the whole thing. So I don't think you're ever leaving, Lauren. I don't think so.
Oh, oh gosh, it was a love affair with the city the second I stepped on the blue line for the first time. I just absolutely love it here. And to speak to your point again about Chicago musicians, I think it just goes to show for anyone in the Chicagoland area, it takes a special kind of person to make it through the 8 months of winter that we have to
Amen.
celebrate. I feel like we just appreciate things more than the average person.
I agree 100%. And you it seems like you're in a little studio out of the way, perhaps. Like, where are you at in the old Q101 studios?
I'm in my studio
Oh, you are.
where I work
You're
at
talking. So
10 to
you're on a laptop, right? Can you turn it around and see what you see? Let's see. Yeah, let's go for a little tour. Let's see this. Look at that.
All right, first of all, got my friends James and Sons Fine Jewelers always looking out. This
Yeah.
is board, just kind of like a spaceship. Every day I
Yes,
come
it is.
try not to break anything because I probably can't afford it. But this is the view I've got. She sure is pretty. You can see a little.
Not. Oh, you guys are right there. Oh, so that's the NBC Tower, right?
Yep.
Oh
Got
yeah,
a
look at
little
that.
over the lake, so I can usually see like one boater out there. Look down Columbus this way. This one
Steps from the red line or the blue line.
yes, from all the lines and the
Yeah.
bus.
Well,
Yeah,
Lauren, the show kicks off like you said tomorrow, Aragon Ballroom. What are the times that people should start heading? I mean, obviously there's an opener, the doors open, the whole thing. When would you recommend for people to get there? And they should get their tickets now so they have that chance to be able to make all that happen.
so if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, it's not too late. You can get, there will be limited tickets available at the door each night. At the Aragon, the doors open every night at 6 o'clock, and then the first band will start at 7. So depending on where you want to be, I mean, I've got my best friends who want to be right up in the rail, right in the front.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to get there early so we can line up and get right up to the front. But get there when you can. It's going to be an entire evening, 4 nights in a row, plus after parties, very special opportunities with artists as well that you will hear about at the Aragon. Yeah, Q101.com.
And where can they find you and all your stuff on the social media?
You can find me at the Lauren O'Neill or at Lauren O'Neill. It gets a little convoluted. I have an evil Canadian twin, Lauren O'Neill.
We all do, don't we? Damn
Yeah,
it.
she's wonderful, but we're always chasing each other to the next social media platform. So because we're the only two that spell it the same way. So
Oh, sure.
if it's
Every
not
time.
her, it's her.
Right. Yeah, I can't believe that you guys got the Black Keys to play Aragon Ballroom. And, if you know music, you know that that's a real treat because the Black Keys can sell out the United Center, right? Like I've seen them at the United Center sold out for 2 days in a row. So to see that and all these other bands, I mean, Young the Giant and Gaslight Anthem, that's like I love the Gaslight Anthem. That's one of my favorite bands. So I can't wait to be there and enjoy all the music and see you and hang out for a little bit at the Aragon.
It's gonna be a blast.
Absolutely.